Chapter 7: The Divine Thief and the Oracle's Light. High above the earthly realms, the great Titan Atlas was condemned to carry the heavy, celestial sphere upon his broad shoulders. His wife, the sea nymph Pleione, endured the relentless, harassing pursuit of the giant huntsman Orion. To save Pleione and her 7 daughters from this 7-year torment, Zeus miraculously intervened, transforming them into a flock of doves that took flight to become the Pleiades, a starry constellation forever associated with the onset of rain. It was with one of these celestial daughters, Maia, that the supreme god Zeus engaged in a clandestine union. In the deep shadows of a mountain cave, Maia gave birth to a son named Hermes, destined to become the fleet-footed herald of the deathless gods. He possessed an unpredictable, cunning intellect and a startling vitality. When he was barely 1 hour old, the infant slipped away from his mother's watchful eye. Wandering outside his sanctuary, the newborn god's attention was captured by a slow-moving tortoise. With ruthless ingenuity, the infant scooped out the creature's life, stretching a piece of cowhide over the hollow shell, attaching strings, and carving a small wooden bridge to forge the world's very first lyre. Plucking its taut strings, Hermes burst into a joyous, epic song that recounted the ancient histories of the Titans, the Olympians, and the creation of the world itself. Yet his divine mischief was insatiable. Strapping on immortal golden sandals that carried him faster than the breeze, the infant thief immediately set off to steal the prized cattle of the sun god, Apollo. Apollo, the radiant son of Zeus and Leto, had endured his own turbulent beginnings. When Leto was pregnant, she found sanctuary on the island of Delos. A landmass formed when her sister Asteria transformed into a timid quail and plunged into the sea to escape Zeus's predatory lust. Burning with a fierce desire to avenge his mother, who had been ruthlessly hunted by a monstrous serpent known as the Python, Apollo descended upon the earth. Wielding a magnificent bow and arrows meticulously forged by the blacksmith god Hephaestus, Apollo slaughtered the terrifying beast. To symbolize the absolute triumph of the heavens over the earth, the sun god buried the serpent's carcass deep beneath the Omphalos stone, a sacred monument marking the exact geographical center of the world, and established his infallible oracle at Delphi. Having eclipsed the ancient titan Helios, Apollo assumed the mantle of the sun god, destined to declare the unfailing will of Zeus and bring the splendor of his radiance to the mortal realm. However, the brilliant conqueror was soon blinded by his own towering pride. Fresh from his glorious victory, Apollo spotted the young god of desire, Eros, strutting about the landscape. Unable to contain his arrogance, Apollo openly sneered at the boy deity, mocking his archery skills with cruel laughter. This hubristic insult provoked a devastating retaliation, condemning Apollo to a desperate, unrequited pursuit of Daphne, a beautiful nymph and daughter of Peneus who was fiercely dedicated to her chastity. As the divine hierarchy solidified, the Olympian gods began to vie for intellectual and political dominion over the rapidly civilizing mortal world. Athena, the formidable goddess of wisdom and warfare, sought to anchor her influence by claiming patronage over a newly founded, prosperous city. She found her claim violently contested by her uncle, Poseidon, the temperamental god of the sea. To resolve the divine friction, the city's first king, Cecrops, decreed that whichever deity could present the most valuable gift to the citizens would be forever honored as their patron.
Poseidon stepped forward and struck the bedrock with his earth-shattering trident, summoning a gushing spring. Yet, true to the god's domain, the water was briny, salty, and completely undrinkable. Athena, demonstrating her strategic foresight, stepped forward and planted the very first olive tree. Her miraculous gift provided the mortals with a sustainable trinity of wealth, nourishing food, valuable oil, and sturdy wood. Recognizing the profound, life-altering utility of her creation, King Cecrops awarded the victory to the goddess and named the flourishing city Athens in her absolute honor. Under her watchful eye, the city blossomed into a beacon of trade, industry, and technical expertise. Yet the synthesis of utility and beauty that Athena represented also attracted dangerous, obsessive desires. The lame blacksmith god Hephaestus, deeply humiliated by the frequent infidelities of his wife Aphrodite with the war god Ares, became consumed by a violent, unyielding lust for the virgin goddess of wisdom. Driven by this dark passion, the master craftsman relentlessly pursued Athena, attempting to force himself upon the very mind that guided the civilized world.